Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to the One Day Closer podcast. I'm your humble host, Jay. Thank you. Okay, enough of that foolishness. Oh my gosh. Season 4, episode 9. Thank y'all for joining me. It's been a crazy couple of weeks since the last episode. But what I will start this day with, rejoice, for today is the day the Lord has made, right? Just grateful to be up and moving. Personally, I've been actually sick and golly, man, I guess since Saturday night. So what do we have, 5 days? And I think my disease is having a flare-up of some sort. I hope it's that. Because if it's not, then something possibly worse is going on. So not to start off on a downer, but if my voice sounds a little off or I sound a little weak, it's like I said, it's been a rough 5 days, but I have faith and I know things will get turned around, hopefully way sooner than later, but either way, it's going to be good. So with that, I am recording this on the 29th. I'll say early happy Halloween to everybody. Last episode we were celebrating 2-year anniversary, right, of the podcast, and how amazing it's been for 2 years for me to do it. Like I say many a times, this is very therapeutic for me to get some of this out. And I appreciate y'all all joining me. Also talked about the new role I have with the GBS Foundation as a liaison for Mobile and the Gulf Coast down here in Alabama. And I'm looking forward to making an impact in this area with other patients. And I also talked about a crazy trip I had in Oregon, just an amazing thing where I had the opportunity to tour the Spruce Goose. So those are the things we talked about in the last episode. And this episode, we actually finally get back on track. I apologize that it took a few episodes. We got away, but we were in a 10-part series about living life to the fullest and what the Bible tells us about that and God's plan for us. So we are back in action with part 5, embracing forgiveness. And oh my boy, what a subject that hits hard, right? I'm only speaking for myself here. I always thought I did a good job at forgiving because I've learned that when we hold that stuff in, it's just poison to our system. But in recent years, I've definitely gotten better about it. And so we'll touch on that today and get rolling on that. We'll open up with a little scripture before we get into it. So Colossians 3:13 says, bear with each other and forgive one another. If any of you has a grievance against someone, forgive as the Lord forgave you. And that'll lead us in. I mean, how true, right? Who are we to not give forgiveness? God forgives us, and no matter what we've done. But somehow, as humans, and I guess it's the human experience, right, where we have trouble doing that. So, like I said, personally, I've been better about it. Actually, I had a situation yesterday come up that I'll talk about here more in a little bit. But again, just had to forgive somebody for some silliness and where they were trying to attack me on social media. And it's so funny, and like I said, I forgive them. I said, hey, whatever people are going through, we don't know. And I'll talk more about that, but shoot, heck with all of that, let's get into the good stuff. So why should we embrace forgiveness? Holding on to grudges, holding on to guilt, that hinders a full life. It hinders the life that God has planned for us. So forgive others. And this is something I had to learn. Forgive yourself. And I used to carry so much guilt, so much shame about parts of my life. So I had to learn how to forgive myself. I did way better forgiving others than I did forgiving myself, right? But by forgiving others and forgiving yourself, this mirrors God's grace and it frees your heart from carrying that burden, that poison, that toxic. I'm telling you, man, and again, I'm speaking just of my own personal journey with this, you know. I know when you hold those grudges, you might as well go ahead and take a dose of poison and just put toxicity in your veins, right? Because that's all it's going to do. It's going to destroy you. Doesn't do anything to the person. Of course, with recent events, with Charlie Kirk passing, and I'm sure most of y'all, if not all of y'all at this point, saw where his widow stood up at his memorial service and forgave the man that killed her husband. Whew, that one, I'm sorry, that's going to choke me up right there. That's powerful. It's very powerful. And then that is the power of God right there. So, how do we do that? Well, I don't, one part of me would say, I don't know how she did it, but, we pray for strength, right? To forgive those who hurt us, those who have caused you pain, those, just fill in the blank, right? Got to pray. Pray for your own strength, but also pray for them. Whatever causes them, whatever causes somebody to be mean, to be ugly, to spread hate. They need Jesus, right? We'll just simplify that. And pray that they find him. It is so, so important that we give that forgiveness, but also it's important that we seek forgiveness, when it's needed. I'd like to sit here and say, hey, I've never wronged anybody in my life, and I would be a lie. Unfortunately, it's probably more people than I even realize. Ooh, excuse me for 1 second. I gotta get a sip of some coffee here. Thank you. Like I said, we're just not feeling our best, but I appreciate everybody bearing with me on this. So where we leave off, we talk about, seeking forgiveness where's needed. And that's important too. I hope at this point in my life that those who I've wronged have forgiven me. And, just as I have forgiven those who wronged me. But we got to let go of that self-condemnation. Let go of that poison. Let go of that toxicity. Just nothing good. Nothing good comes out of that. So I'll share a little story, and this actually happened to me yesterday. So I guess I got to get a little we'll jump back. So Facebook's been around, I don't know, 17 years? I guess I've been on it 16, 17 years. I have literally only unfriended probably 8 or 9 people. Most of that's been in the last year. And the reason I've unfriended these people is I don't have no hate, no ill will towards them or nothing. But their post will just get so negative. They spread negativity. And again, I pray for those people, want nothing but the best for them, but I don't need to see that negativity in my feed. Good old social media, right? So what happened yesterday, I guess maybe it happened, started the day before, but this person in particular is that I unfriended. It was their birthday, and I'm still friends with their kids and their parents online. And so I want to say their mom, just posted something, which all good parents should do, right? Happy birthday. So under that post, I literally, hey, happy birthday, right? Wishing you a wonderful day or something to that extent. And the response I got was, God, I wish I would have screenshotted it. It was something to the extent of, yeah, I know you unfriended me and you can take your BS or whatever down the road. No one wants to hear from you, but I see you still follow my parents or something like that. Just pure, well, it just it reminded me why I've unfriended these people, right? But, and of course, my response, the devil on the shoulder, wanted to go all guns blazing and let them know why I unfriended them. but I chose not to do that. I will say, and it still probably wasn't the most appropriate thing, I just put the laughing emoji, because I just, what can you do? It's like they they literally made my case of why I choose not to have them pop up in my feed. But I still wish them a happy birthday. Like I said, I want nothing but the best for people. And, you know, when people literally lack grace in class like that, what can you do? So my little laughing emoji might not have been the best response. Of course, then the parents, they turn around and they unfriend me and, delete all the comments. And that's just, that almost requires its own laughing emoji. But to tie it all in, literally, it didn't matter what that person said, you know, and I mean, I forgive them. Like I said, their life is its own mess, and I pray for them. I want nothing but the best for their life. But like I said, I don't have to have that negativity in my feed. So with that, I will say good riddance, I guess. Of course, the human part again, that devil on the shoulder said, "Oh, go ahead and defriend the whole family," and that's no, why would I do that? Why would I take it out on the kids of a person that spews that kind of hate when the children are good kids and their feed's not full with that negativity. So after thinking about it some more, I did not unfriend anybody. And, but that forgiveness, right? I could have carried that for a long time. But why give somebody that power over you? When we don't forgive, and this is generically speaking, when we don't forgive, man, we're just carrying, you could think of, as your mind and your heart as a suitcase, and you just sit there and fill that suitcase with that negativity, with that anger, or whatever it may be. It's just toxicity. And ultimately that suitcase gets full with stuff, you don't let go of and it weighs you down. You're dragging, I guess that's part of the baggage we all come with. Well, in that sense, my forgiveness bag is very light because I give it. I give it and I give it freely. And I'm so happy I'm able to give it freely. You know, again, that's just a little personal story and that's something minor, but I know we're all facing more than that silly little thing as far as giving people forgiveness. So I would, my challenge for this episode, think of one person, maybe one situation that you need to forgive somebody for. If you're not able to do it, when you think of that situation or that person, pray about it. Pray about it daily until peace is restored. And that's the key. The peace that comes with forgiveness. Like I mentioned, Charlie Kirk's widow. Oh my gosh, man, how much anger that she, carries in her heart for that person, but she let it go. She is not going to give that person might have took her husband, took the father of her children, but she's not going to give him the power to make her bitter. And that's it. So I challenge y'all to think of that one person, one situation, and again, give that forgiveness. If you're not able to give it right away, pray on it. God will give you the strength. God will give you the knowledge. God will give you the power to take that power back that that person or situation holds over you. So that's number 5. Next episode, I will get into number 6, right? So that will be pursuing joy in God's presence. And that will be a good one for sure. And as of right now, I don't have anything else planned, so it should truly be next episode. Usually about 9 episodes in each season, I take a break for 6 or 8 weeks and then come back. But we're going to keep going. So season 4 is as of next episode, which will be episode 10. Oh, my. But we're just going to keep rolling. And we'll probably take a little break around the holidays. So, closing thought, though, and this is unrelated to the forgiveness. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe for somebody out there, this is something they need to forgive somebody for. But recently I took part in an Out of the Darkness walk. And if you're not familiar with that, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, that organization, right, they raise awareness on suicide and depression. They hold walks in communities all over the country, may even be all over the world if I know, but I'm going to say this country for sure. And what a wonderful event. Hundreds of people were there. The walk was, I think a mile and a half, something like that, 2 miles. But it's not about the distance. It's about walking maybe in memory of somebody that you lost due to suicide, which I have lost friends, coworkers to suicide. The website for the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention is afsp.org. And look them up. They have plenty of resources. If you want to make a contribution, I know they'll be glad to take it. But it got me thinking, one of the things they did at the end of the walk is they do a butterfly release. And it's a beautiful thing. Again, I'm sorry if I'm breaking up a little bit, but I can still see it, I can still feel it. But as they're doing that, they say the name of somebody that you've lost. And unfortunately, I could say a few names, and I did. But then it got me thinking when I got home, I was talking with somebody about suicide, and this person I was talking with, I nearly lost a couple of years ago. And thank God they didn't do it. But then I realized, so many times those that commit suicide, they're the strong ones, right? The ones we would say, they're the survivor, right? Whether, the past traumas in their life and they were the survivors, the strong ones. And you say, oh, I would have never thought that they would do that. And we seem surprised or shocked. And this is my own personal observation that it at least the ones I know, it seems to be that kind of common theme. So, I haven't hid my own struggles with depression, talked about it in many episodes, and even, coming close to making an attempt. And I thank God that I didn't do it. So check on the strong ones. Just because they seem like they're the strong survivor and nothing can get them. Depression does not discriminate. Young, old, male, female, it doesn't matter. It gets us all. So if you need to, reach out and let them know that you're there for them. Even if it's just a shoulder to cry on or an ear to fill and somebody to talk to, right? An ear to listen. For more emergent situations, you can text 988. That's the Suicide Prevention Hotline, or their website, which is 988.org or com. I apologize for not double checking on that. But that is resources. If you or somebody you love or know is suffering, like I said, reach out. Don't let them go. So, didn't mean to bring things on a down level there. Like I said, that turned out to be more emotional when I did that walk than I would have thought it would have been. But I'm glad I participated. It was with a group from church and just, I'm so glad that they offered an opportunity for me to join them, right? So with that, my friends, know that I love all of y'all. I am so thankful that you chose to join me on this journey. I want to remind everybody, no matter what life throws at you, always have faith in Jesus. He will carry you through it. He carries me daily, and He will do it for you. We have a God that specializes in the impossible. So if you think your situation is impossible, trust me, God can help. God can make that situation right. He is the God of miracles, because I am a walking miracle. I'll say a living miracle. But always have faith. Always have faith in Jesus. Again, thank y'all for joining me. I wish everybody a wonderful and blessed day. After you listen to this, know the world is a better place with you in it. Never forget that neither. And remember, live your spirit.